perhaps can we also talk about from a retailer standpoint and from a brand standpoint? Maybe you can start with the brand, which is if I'm Kimberly Clark, who has a business in India. Almost every enterprise brand has a large business in India. So let's take one example and say if I'm Kimberly Clark or a Colgate, and what does this mean to me as a brand? What should I do to be ready, or what is there? Are there implications that this is going to have for me?
Huge implications. One is, I'm saying traditionally, for example, today in e-commerce as a brand, I would look at key accounts like Amazon, Flipkart, etc. I need to go through the 1P or the 3P strategies in each one of them, which means I'm either selling it into them as a key customer, and then I manage price, SKU, assortments, bundles, everything that I'm going to do in that particular platform based on the kind of consumers who walk into that platform. Whereas now, if you see, the paradigm changes because I'm basically having a single PIM which is accessible across all types of marketplaces. And hence, my assortment planning exercises, etc., in terms of, whether it's price pack, etc., while it is going to be dependent on the buyer application, which is whether I'm coming from an Amazon or coming from a Flipkart, I need to keep in mind that, my SKUs and assortments today can be accessed from any buyer platform. If I am ONDC registered, if my marketplace, is registered on ONDC. So if it is ONDC compliant, it makes my discoverability beyond a single marketplace, which means earlier I had to spend money on an Amazon to make myself discoverable on Amazon. Whereas today I can open that funnel up into different buyer applications, which is making my products discoverable today. So that is how so what happens is, as a brand now, I need to think of it fairly dynamically, which means it's not a linear equation anymore. It's not a linear path to purchase. The path to purchase actually starts to change and become literally real time in terms of how we manage it. It's something which has happened in the payment gateway system. It's the same thing which happens in telecom, for example, which means you have a single number, whether it is Guru or Ramesh who has a single mobile number. Tomorrow, if I churn from this operator to another operator, I can still hold that number, which means my history is being moved from one operator to another. And my number is not dependent on the operator. My number is unique to me. So that is exactly how this whole thing is going to work.
And how much time do brands have to start to get ready for this? When is this going live?
I think the pilots have started happening in India. ONDC has been doing some pilots in India in a small manner in few countries. But I think the ambition is to grow very, very rapidly because it's a government-funded thing. It's also there are equity holders in the form of banks and payment gateways in ONDC. So the ambition is to scale very, very rapidly because the way they're looking at it is today it's about 8% in terms of the total e-commerce revenue which comes out of this, and they're looking to scale this to about 25% in the next 4 to 5 years time. So that's the kind of scale that they're looking at.
So 8% of total e-commerce revenue in India is right now going through ONDC?
No, I'm saying total e-commerce revenue is 8%, which is going to move into 25% once ONDC gets fully operational. So that's the kind of scale that they're looking at in terms of numbers and things like that.